Where the hell did the time go? Why the biscuits? Are we showing up to meetings frazzled because we're so late? Why does the 10-minute task feel like it's going to take 3 hours? What is up with time blindness? Well, who cares why it happens? It's ADHD. Done. It happened. Let's solve it. You are listening to ADHD Big Brother, the podcast for adults struggling with their ADHD, their comorbid depression, their anxiety. Oh, it's just a hoot. I'm your host and your ADHD Big Brother, Russ Jones. I've got ADHD too. I've got depression as well. It's crap-tastic. So let's learn some stuff. Let's laugh at some stuff. Let's make some commitments to do some stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, here's some stuff. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing? How are you doing? Seriously. How are you doing? And if you say fine, I swear to all that is holy on this holiness of holy things, I will dig deeper. I will peel your onion. There's something underneath that fine. Oh, you don't want to get into it right now. Okay, I get it. Shit to do. Okay. You're running late. Can of worms. Don't want to open it up. Although Personally, I love cans of worms. You know that saying, can of worms? I always thought that was about the party prank thing, But that's a snake in a can. It turns out, because I know you're interested, it's a saying from around like 1950s. Fishermen would buy cans of worms. The lids were a pain in the ass, and the worms would come out all tangled. That makes them a problem. Kind of like you talking about what's going on beneath, quote unquote, I'm fine. Tangled mess of emotional worms, eh? Well, I will open up my can of worms for you. Oh, look, the lid came right off. Wow, worms are perfectly lined up. Oh my God, I guess I'm fine. But on a serious note, I am doing pretty good. The mental health report, it doesn't always have to be the bad stuff. We're here doing our part to normalize talking about our skull spaghetti, the good, the bad, and the weird. I'll tell you the bad. I'll share my good. I'll expose my weird, I guess. I'm feeling rejuvenated, and I think a big part of that is being around my folks, seeing my brother and meeting his fiance, super cool gal. Connection is a big deal, and I've been getting that in, and it's awesome. I was also really inspired by my brother and his fiance, who are both big long-distance runners. They'll do those 100-mile races, which is fucking insane. Just saying it out loud. It's like doing a marathon, and then the marathon is over, and you look over to your friend and you're like, you know what? I think we should do that 3 more times in a row. Yeah, right now. That's a special kind of crazy. 2 of that kind of crazy coming together. I mean, they're destined to be a couple, don't you think? I've said this and I'll keep saying it. The couple that pushes their bodies to the limit and throws up all over the trail together, that's the couple that stays together. You ice each other's sore body parts. You talk about your heart rates and the latest moisture-wicking socks together. That's the lasting one. That's the relationship that sticks. That's going to keep. Well, I'm not interested in that particular journey for myself. I am absolutely motivated to get back into shape. And it's perfect timing that we have a couple community members who created a Fork It challenge. It's like, fuck it, but with forks, I am going to participate in that. It's all about nutrition and what are we going to eliminate and what are we going to add? And ADHD Big Brother, it is literally the greatest hub for accountability and support. So it's going to happen. I think there's like 10 of us who are on board with that are going to do it. And I'm also doing a pull-up challenge right now and a no alcohol challenge. Because challenges work, y'all. Gamify it. It works. I will absolutely lean into whatever works. So I've been throwing everything but the kitchen sink at my health. So it's, now it's time. Let's rip out the sink. Let's chuck that in there too. For the most part, I'm feeling good. Feeling more optimistic than curmudgeonery. But I mean, give me time. I'll circle back. I'm 50 now and I need to start acting my age. Filled with cynicism and ire towards the young whippersnappers. In my day, you kids, god darn it. I also wanted to share one thing that some of us at ADHD Big Brother have been doing with our daily accountability. I created this challenge because obviously I'm a challenge freak, guys. I'm into the torture of it all, I guess. But you can use this at home. I've noticed that a trend on our monthly goals calls, and we do a couple of monthly goals calls a month, like the first of the month and then 15th. What I've noticed is that we set these goals and then we forget them until the next month's goal call. And it's great to be intentional about what we want to achieve. Like that's a step in the right direction. But I want to raise the bar here and see us actually achieve those things. So we created a challenge in the community, and I'll extend it out there to all of you guys listening who aren't in the community. When you pick your monthly goals, print them out, put them where you can see them. And then every day when you're putting together your day, picking your top priorities or your one thing to get done, make sure you put at least one thing on your to-do list that will move one of those monthly goals forward. That's how you keep those monthly goals top of mind. Keep looking at them. Alrighty, let's talk about time blindness. I hear this referred to in various ways, so for the sake of this episode, I'm going to refer to being unable to properly ascertain lengths of time for tasks and how that can debilitate us. Do you ever feel like, so you have plenty of time to get A, B, and C done before you head out to like a meeting? Like, oh, I'll just feed the dog real quick, or I'll do the laundry's messed up. Let me just real quick gather it all up and get a load going before I head out to the meeting. Let me just have a quick snack before I leave. All these little justified tasks to get done real quick, they end up surprising us because we end up leaving later than we anticipated. And if we aren't late for an appointment, we're often frazzled and scrambling when we arrive. We're not presenting as our best selves, let's say. And that, to me, is the result of time blindness. I used to struggle with that. And I ended up overreacting to it due to my people-pleasing nature. So I would be crazy early to things. I would leave so early that I would always arrive like 60 minutes early and sit in my car until it was time for the appointment. And granted, I live in LA, but it was ridiculously overcorrecting. I find that a lot of us will plan things without factoring in all of the actual time. Like, for instance, we want to build a thing in the garage, like a shelf. Okay, should only take me about an hour and a half to build it. I don't actually know how long it takes to build a shelf. I know a lot of you guys came here from the Adam Savage shout outs, and you guys probably know exactly how long it takes to build a shelf. Can we just pretend? Let's just pretend it's an hour and a half. So if I designate an hour and a half on Saturday morning, easily enough time to have lunch with my friends. Lunch is just down the street, so I figure I'll start building at 10:30. I'm good. I'm giving an exaggerated example, but I think it's a helpful way to explain what is often wrong with our assessment of time. Like in this case, we aren't factoring in anything beyond building. There is the locating of the tools, the prep of the environment, then the building and the assembly. We didn't factor in all the various steps in hanging up the shelf once it's assembled, if we're going to do that, and then the time that it takes to put the tools away, clean up, and then the time it takes to take a shower, get dressed, locate keys, get in the car, and drive. Every single nominal thing that feels meaningless and quote unquote real quick, like, get the keys, that takes time. The earth doesn't stop rotating or flying around the sun while we do real quick stuff. Just because it's inconsequential, it doesn't mean that it doesn't take time, especially when we are often determining the latest possible moment that we have to leave in order to get there exactly at the time when we said we were going to meet our friends. We're not factoring in getting there 15 minutes early. We're saying lunch is at noon. So I'm arriving right at noon. So I'm going to leave at 11:45 because it's only 15 minutes away. So all these things that we're not factoring in, like what about stoplights? What about finding parking? What about exiting your car and walking to the restaurant? All these things take time. No matter how insignificant they are, those 30 seconds, they add up. Another aspect of this is that we think we're leaving when we start doing leaving activities. Brush our teeth real quick, put on our shoes real quick, grab our keys real quick, and the various last-minute items. We started doing those things at 11:45 because that's when we said we were leaving. And now we're not out the door until 12:05. The act of leaving took 20 minutes. That's a fun text to get from your friends, right? I'm in the booth. Come on in. I'm right to the right when you walk in. And you're like, oh shit, I haven't left yet. Gug. I find that a lot of work with ADHD happens when we adopt skills at externalizing our lives. In the case of time blindness, it can be super helpful to take stock of time for some things in our lives to get the data points we need for change. Here's an example. As an example for you, I want to get to work at 9 a.m. and I'm always arriving late in this example. Let's try writing down every single step that we take every morning in the process of getting ready for work. Let's try it. All right, start with whoever you are now and what are the steps. Don't worry about what time you wake up just yet. Just what happens when you wake up. Who are you? What do you even do? Let's say you do the following. You wake up, you drink water, you let the dog outside to use the restroom, do some stretching, you brew some coffee, you have a cup of coffee, you take the dog for a walk, you feed the dog, you make breakfast, you eat breakfast, you take a shower, you get dressed, you comb your hair, makeup on if you're a makeup wearing human, put together a lunch, you get the keys and the wallet and the purse, you get in the car, and you leave the driveway. Each of those items takes time. Even though some of them are just real quick, they need to be factored in because multiple real quicks add up. So you've been getting up at 7:30 a.m., but you're always leaving the house late. And people are starting to take notice of how not calm and ready for work you are. And you're showing up, blasting through the door, apologizing and scattered. So let's look at this in terms of time. I'm not going to bore you with the list of items for every single thing. Because you imagine, drink water, 2 minutes. Comb hair, 5 minutes. The total here when I did the math was 2 hours and 20 minutes. I highballed it. But even if we're getting up at 7:30, and like if we want to leave the house by 9, that only gives us an hour and a half to get ready. But clearly this takes 2 hours and 20 minutes. So if I'm going to be out the door, leaving to get to work so that I arrive at 8:55 a.m. with 5 minutes to comfortably settle in, then I have to leave the house at 8:40. That means I have to wake up at 6:20 a.m. I've been getting up at 7:30. What? There's a wonderful insight there. Like that, this is some good workable data. So be like, who do you want to be? Do you want to comfortably continue the way that you've been getting ready? Then do what it takes to get up at 6:20. And that means if we go to bed early because, we give a shit about our proper sleep because that directly affects our brain, then that's what that means. Or if you like the 7:30 a.m. wake up time, how could you shave off time in the morning without screwing over your dog? Come on. Really? Come on. Doing this work can be pretty eye-opening. This makes it so that the work doesn't have to start with being some highly efficient master of not wasting any time. It starts with saying, who am I? What do I need to do right now as I am to get the result that I want? So if it takes you 2.5 hours to get ready, start there. See what happens if you wake up earlier. Maybe you find that you grossly overestimated your time, but you can't iterate and fine-tune a thing unless you do the initial work up front. Start there. My challenge for you this week is to get some data points on your morning or in your evening or somewhere in your life. Get some data points. And if you're struggling with putting these things that I mentioned into practice, this is when I encourage you to add some level of support into your life while you need it. No biggie. We can shelve the idea that we have to do this shit on our own for a little bit, right? In my world, I can help you one-on-one. You can join the community. Absolutely join the community. We have 60 plus members right now. It's the place. It's all too common, right? To read a thing, watch a thing, listen to a podcast thing and think, I got to try that. And then, we don't. It's on to the next thing that we don't try. And so nothing changes. And that's unacceptable to me. And the curmudgeon in me is like, I don't want to do this podcast if nobody's doing the work. It doesn't matter that you know how to do a thing. If you have ADHD, we have to move on to what are we going to do the thing. This is absolutely a great way. It's not the only way, but it's a fantastic way to overcome an aspect of time blindness. But if we don't put in the work, nothing changes. I love this work, you guys. It is purposeful to me, and I want to see it attempted. Do the goddamn work. Oh, there's the 50-year-old coming out. Did you taste that? Get in there and do the goddamn, put a reminder on your phone. Grr. It's good work. I've seen it work in others. I've seen it work for clients. I've experienced it working for myself. How can we do the thing? What does it take for you to try with your ADHD school spaghetti? Be curious about that. Anyways, hope you got some value out of the podcast. If you did, please share this with your friends, your family, your coworkers, your church, your soccer team, your Rotary friends, the guy that delivers your Amazon packages. Be like, hey, check out this ADHD Big Brother podcast. He's got some good ideas, but be warned, you really got to do the work. I would really appreciate that, but what I would appreciate even more is if you did the work. Make a solid attempt at it. Tell me how it goes and tell me what you learned. I'm into it. And with that, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you later.